God bless Highlight, ladies and gentlemen. Can you feel it, Brian? Wait, I didn't even let you say God bless Highlight, Brian. And if you listen to our other episode where I didn't say things, I gotta let you say God bless Highlight. So, Brian, God bless Highlight.
God bless Highlight, Nate.
Can you feel it, Brian?
I can feel it. The pelota is purring. Ooh.
I want to go stick my hand in my cesta so bad right now, Brian. I just want to go get my cesta. Put that hand in there real nice and deep because the season is almost upon us. It's almost here. We're less than a week away. Next Monday, yeah. Labor Day, people. You got the day off. So why don't you got work off? So why don't you put on Highlight? There's no better time to get invested in Highlight. Are they going to create a Highlight League Pass here, people? But they already have it. They do it for free, people. It's on their YouTube. It's the Highlight League Pass. You can watch it all. It's also on ESPN3. It's on the Watch Highlight app, and it's on some other apps I haven't heard of. I actually watch it on all three because I'm crazy. It just depends where I'm watching it. But, Brian, last time we talked Highlight, I previewed the draft. I talked a couple things. Turns out Oleron not coming back. Lopez not coming back. We got some new players there. The draft is done. And we got to talk draft, but before we want to talk draft.
For starters, I do want to say salute to you.
Thank you.
Because your hard work, your perseverance, the way that you approach the sport of highlight, no different than the way Manu approaches a rebote. You, all of the work you did on the front end got us to break some big news last week, and that was
definitely last week that we broke that news.
Yeah. Last week, last episode, last iteration, where Cyclones manager Mike Ryan Ruiz announced to us first on this platform, God's platform, God bless Highlights platform, who they planned on freezing. And it stood the test of time. Things were true. Things went through. With that being said, what is the rest of your thoughts on what happened with the draft?
Brian, so here's some things I knew going into the draft that we previewed that ended up happening. Traditionally, our team has been a backcourt-heavy team when it comes to our talent. Mm-hmm. And I heard rumblings through my various connections, that was going to change, that the team was going to target Ferranda, who honestly I wasn't too stoked about because his stats on the fireballs were not great. But maybe, hey, expansion team, first time here, trash team, trash stats, but decent player, right?
Change of scenery.
And if you listen to the show, you heard all about this. Mike talked about this, right? They were hearing they should get him in round 2.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what they did, Brian? They went and they took a risk in round 2, and they got Amiga Reyna, also from the Fireballs. I believe he made a couple all-star teams.
Yep.
And
arguably one of their better players, if not best. And
so we're still pretty solid backcourt of our Division I player, Manu. Frozen, one of the best backcourters. No, not actually one of the best. He's the best backcourter in the league, hands down.
Put respect on his name.
He's the best. He's no one's even close to Manu. He's the best backcourter in all of Battle Court, and he's one of the best players overall. Arguably, for my money, I think he was the best number 1 last year. When Manu had it last season, he was the best player. Go Cherry took a drop off. He's the guy who you should first think of is there someone who's challenging? Go Cherry did not look good last season. That's something that, again, to question, can he get back to form? 6-4, not a good year for Go Cherry. But back to the draft. They got Amiga Reyna, and third round, they got Ferranda. So they got the guy that they were being told, get him in the second round. We got him in the third round. So I think for me, that really puts my opinion of the Cyclones draft high. I think they had one of the best drafts in the league. And they went and they got Ron, they got Bueno, and we got Rock as our Division 6 player. And Rock, last season, there's been some new players coming in. Rock was a Division 5 player, and he's our Division 6 player. So honestly, we got one of the – I'm surprised. If you look, the Fireballs had the number 1 draft pick. They went Jedin with that instead of getting Rock. I mean, I think Rock is a – but, Jedin's a front quarter, and I'm pretty sure Rock's a back quarter, so that could have something to do with why they went where they did.
Yeah.
But
drafted by position, yeah.
Rock is one of the solid sixes. He's a solid Rock. He's a solid man. Maybe
Rock solid. It's right there, baby.
If you're listening, Rock, we need you to come on. God bless Highlight. Help us preview the upcoming season 6, which the preview will happen after the season has already started, because by the time you hear this, there won't be a lot of time. But Rock, you're going to come on God Bless Highlight and Bless Highlight with us. So, Brian, I'm going to say I love what the Cyclones did on draft day. Big fan of it. As you look over the draft board, is there anything that's standing out to you, Brian?
I feel like we've been here before. I feel like we've been here, and maybe it's the consistency of having a player like Manu. Like, Manu gives me Andrew Whitworth vibes, where you can pencil him in for 15 years of all-pro consistency. But just like the namesake sport of football, don't know why I said namesake, henceforth, it takes more than one player, regardless of how excellent they are at what it is they do. And I feel like we've been excited about drafts in the past. We've pretty much always been excited about drafts because, for the most part, I think this front office does a good job of drafting needs. They draft players that make sense for this team and how the roster's coming together. My only concern is, what has it gotten us? Like,
yeah.
That's
fair.
Okay. You said that the Cyclones, this was by far, I'm assuming, probably the favorite in your draft breakdown in terms of team and everything that he got for value.
I can give you another favorite, but go ahead.
Well, give me your second favorite.
Actually, I want you to finish your thought, Brian, because then we're probably never going to come back to it because my brain's cooked.
I was going to ask, are we at the point where I'd be more excited if I saw more surprise in who they decided to pick? I mean, and I guess they did that, right? By deciding to shift a bit more front court with some of their players. It's just, and maybe it's a Dallas Cowboys fan to me. We draft well every year, and what does it lead us to? Getting our asses pounded. Whoa. In the first playoff game against a team that can just run it down our throats. Another one. Yikes. So it's one of them things where I love what I see here in front of me, but it doesn't mean anything now. It never means anything now, because it used to mean, hey, year one. Year one, it meant championships, baby. Year 2, year 3, it meant, okay, but we still in the talkings. Lately, it's just been disappointment. So before we get into my follow-up question, who is your second favorite?
So I think the team that I like next for what they did in the draft, Brian, is I'm looking at the Renegades. And they froze their top 3 players, Go Cherry, Arats, Go Inaga. Those are some of the best players at their position. They're a solid team. I think they've made the playoffs every single year except for maybe that first season. They just got knocked out by I was going to say edged out and keep your they just got edged out by the Wall Warriors in that first season. But they got they
ran into last year.
I don't know. I can't remember who knocked him out, but we're talking draft now, Brian. I'm not going to go back and talk about who knocked out who last season.
Apologies. Well, if the Renegades, lose by 1 point to the Warriors in the championship, I mean, that matters.
Yeah,
that matters because this team has progressively gone upwards. Wait, hold on. Gone upwards.
Look at that.
And we're not seeing the fall off. We're not seeing it. So how come they can maintain that year after year, season after season, players after players?
It's great.
I'm sorry.
It's a great point, Brian. No, that's a great point. I hear you, right? How are they able to do it? And the original blue blood Cyclones seem to fluctuate and not lack the consistency. They've had Ben on their team, right? Ben got to them.
Yep.
You know, as I look at the other, Ikeda, Ron, Kubala, Arta, Ben, Julin. That's your list of fours. I don't like. I hear rumblings that Ron is a higher four. I don't know. Ikeda, solid defensive player, consistent, but he doesn't throw the shots to win points. And he was a frustrating player for us last year. Ben, there's something about the chemistry Ben has with the Renegades that he's a solid player when he's on their team. So they got Ben back, which is good chemistry. So the chemistry they have is consistent. And for me, the big move is Correa. They got Correa at 5. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised he fell to them because he was a Division 5 last year, and he was an all-star Division 5 player. He was the best Division 5 player. He had the best singles rating, and he had a huge season. And he also has chemistry with that team. He was on their very first championship team in Season 2, so there's chemistry that's there with Correa, and he's on a big upward swing. And, you know, you talk Cyclones, Correa's on a no draft, never again list, even though this guy last season made huge steps. Can he maintain it? We'll see, because the game of highlight, what we've seen, can be inconsistent, but apparently not for the Renegades. They're always a high-level team and one of the best teams in highlight. So they're the other team that I like, Brian.
Makes you wonder if there's something going on in the front offices over there that just breeds like excellence. It's almost like players like Ben and Correa would run through a fronton wall for their coaches, for their team, and when you see that, it's intangible. That's why it's not tangible. It's an intangible, right? This show has dedicated itself to the excellence that is highlight, so much so that we bless God for it every time we refer to it. God bless highlight.
Well, we don't bless God. We ask God to. We say, God, you got to bless this, right?
He's blessed us.
Yeah.
He's blessed us.
God,
highlight.
If you don't bless highlight, I don't know if I can believe that there is a God.
With that being said, we had an interesting.
Go ahead, Brian. This is a safe space.
We had a very. So when we got Cyclones owner Mike Ryan on here last episode,
it's okay,
I thought
Brian.
I thought it was a good way to show that we speak without no mouthpieces. While we get on here and we ask for the world to bless the sport of highlight.
God, Brian.
Every episode.
Get it right.
I said the world. I said the world for a reason.
Actually, no, you're right. I hear you, Brian. No, you're right. You're right, because we put it before the Lord, but it's really like the world's got to get behind it too. Because you're right.
Who's creation, right? Yeah. Exactly. And we plead to those who listen to us for not only begging it. We plead for acceptance and understanding, knowing that though we are Clone Cartel, that we provide unbiased and objective outlooks and viewpoints on the sport that is Battle Court Highlight. And it makes me wonder, when we get treated, specifically me, when I get treated like that by someone we've never been a mouthpiece for, this isn't the Cyclone connection. This
No.
isn't the clone cave. This isn't. No.
This isn't Cyclones mic'd up.
Thank you.
No.
Like,
What is this,
isn't
Brian?
the untold story of
No.
the Cyclones. This is God bless alai.
Yeah.
And allegiances aside and fandoms aside, I find myself with a difficult knot in my throat even saying clone cartel when I get treated like that by the owner. And it makes me wonder, should this even still be a Cyclone podcast?
Mm-hmm. Dude, should we, Brian? I've been feeling that too, and going through that since Mike Ryan came on here and took a flamethrower to this podcast, and with what he said to you, how he answered our questions. Again, you acting like I asked him, if the Cyclones win the championship, what will you have done? And his answer is, I already told you, our freezes. So I guess in their mind, they've already done what they need to be champions. I don't know if that's a team I want to get behind.
I bet you can ask the Renegades.
All the hard work, the hours I pour into this.
I bet you can go ask the Warriors. Championships aren't won.
Mm-hmm.
In the September in August. No. They're won throughout the tough losses and the close matches and the heartbreak. And if you're just trying to just tell us that we should just be happy to be speaking to you or even be in your like, we've developed close-knit relationships with players that have moved all across,
friend of the show,
all across this whole entire league. You know, I like Jedin. Mm-hmm. And what's stopping us from supporting Jedin and the Fireballs? What's stopping us from supporting Correa and the Renegades?
Yeah.
Like, maybe they'll be a little bit more appreciative than that golden asshole.
Whoa. You're in pain, Brian. I hear you. You're in pain. He displayed the behavior of an asshole on our podcast. And, well, folks, we're on a journey here at God Bless alai. And we gotta figure things out. I think if you stick with us this season, we're going to talk alai, and we got to figure out who we are as a podcast after we're shook. We're shook to our core. I want to show you guys something. I bought a Cyclones jersey right here. I'm going to pull it down. Cyclones jersey, bought it right here. I got a Cyclones jersey. I bought this before our Mike Ryan interview. It took 3 weeks for them to mail it to me, and I got it. And you know what? I haven't worn it. I haven't worn it since then. You know what I have? You know what I have?
Did he even compliment you?
No. You know what? There wasn't even a single thank you, Brian. Thank you, Nathan, for all your incredible promos that you've created for our team. Is there any other promos being put out? Like, we're putting out these promos all the time. Not even imagine if Udonis Haslam or Ray Lewis had a team behind them putting out this high quality stuff without being asked to. Imagine the reciprocation we would get. Who cares if the thanks from Ray Lewis might be regurgitated thanks that he's said plenty of times before? So what? It still matters because it's Ray Lewis. We couldn't even get... Yeah.
I was thinking about reaching out to Mike Ryan, too, and offering him, hey, you need some help with the Canes connection? Yeah. You know, you need some help chopping some stuff up?
That was one of my questions for our interview with him. What level of Canes connection is right for me? We couldn't even get to that. But anyway, you know what I have worn, Brian, since we've interviewed him? I've worn this. I've still worn this. This is Pier, baby. This is my personalized Manny Cesta Cyclone jersey. Manny's gone. Oh, he's a clone lifer. Please. He's a warrior lifer now.
Hey, Couple names on that Warriors team that's looking familiar.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So, I think this season, Brian, we need to focus on world bless alai. Say it with me, Brian.
World bless alai.
World bless alai. There it is.
I was thinking about becoming a Hurricanes fan because I ain't got a college football team. So I was like, I should just support the team for somebody. I already support the other team, so I should just support that team. But instead, I got yelled at like I'm a damn infant. Like I'm.
It's okay, Brian. It's okay. Well,
God bless highlight, Nick.
Yeah. World bless highlight. God bless highlight. Highlight bless God.